just sucks. It stinks, it sucks, I don't know.
It sucks. It stings. I don't know. Those were the exact words from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen late last night after Alex Newhook's overtime dagger crushed the Sabres season in Game 7. Every hockey fan knows the cruelty of sudden death overtime. One bounce, one shot, and a 13-game playoff journey that captured the heart of Western New York just stops. The sting of that 3-2 loss isn't going away anytime soon. But to truly understand where this Sabres team is going, you have to look at where they've been. Think about the years of early summers, the draft lottery anxiety, and the empty October promises. Now look at what just happened. Tage Thompson putting up superstar numbers once again, but this time in the postseason. Rasmus Dahlin solidifying himself as a Norris finalist. Owen Power, Zach Benson playing well beyond their years. The foundation hasn't just been laid, it's locked in. In this video, I'm going to give you an outsider's perspective on this team going forward, looking ahead to a massive offseason, and proving why the heartbreak of 2026 is actually just fuel for a 2027 Stanley Cup run. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode right here in Above Average on YouTube. Trev, thank you for clicking on today's video. Of course, we're talking about the Buffalo Sabres, man, and just what an unreal run it was, and why you just Sabres fans, if you're new to the channel, you should just be, I know it's going to be tough. This is coming from an Oilers fan who has gone through a lot of heartbreak over the last few years. It's not hockey we're watching anymore, people. It's history. Just hoping they can get it done. I just pray. I'm praying, man. If they get this done, I honestly might go streaking. Please, please, please. Okay? Can you do that for me? Well, they lost. For the second straight year, the Edmonton Oilers have come up short to the Stanley Cup champs. That is, in the final. Because believe it or not, the Oilers have actually lost to the Stanley Cup champs for 4 years in a row. That absolutely sucked. Of course, the Toronto Blue Jays this last year, that one still stings. Yeah, that one sucks. They all suck. And of course, Team Canada. Yeah, so I know what it's like to lose. I've been on the losing side of a lot of, well, my teams lately, and it's not a fun feeling. And I'm not going to lie, if it wasn't for my job in radio having to talk about the team, I would have been way worse because I'm forced to talk about it. I don't want to talk about the Oilers sucking or Team Canada losing or the Blue Jays losing, but I have to. It's my job, so I kind of have no choice. So if you're out there, if you're a morning Sabres fan right now, let me just tell you, it's okay. There's always another day, and we're going to talk about those days for the Buffalo Sabres because the future is so bright. The future is absolutely so bright, and the Sabres might actually be like a top 3 team of mine right now to cheer for. The Oilers obviously got out. That series was just so fun, and you know what? It's crazy, but I really wanted the Sabres to actually win. I really did, and I thought they were going to win. From everyone that we had on our station, from Jamie McLennan to Craig Button to Darren Drager, they all kind of had Buffalo winning the series, so there's that. But, you know, obviously we now know that the Montreal Canadiens, who are, a very skilled, very fast team, pretty similar teams if I'm not going to lie, or if I'm being honest, they're very similar. Speed, they're young, and they're just very energetic and hungry. And I think that's what we saw in that series, why it was just such a good series. But if you're new to the channel, I'm going to be talking about the Buffalo Sabres and just why, from an outsider's perspective, which is me telling you that everything is going to be okay and that the future is just oh so bright in Sabres Nation. So if you're new to this channel, leave a like, drop a comment down below because I read and interact with every single one. If you don't believe me, just throw a message down there. I'll like it. I'll respond to it. I'll do something. And it's also the sponsored segment, every video right here on Above Average, brought to you by www.timetrackers.ca, where if your comment gets the most likes in this video, I'll be giving it a shout out in my next video. How's that sound? Yeah, that's kind of cool, right? So, Sabres fans, question of the video, let's go with, what are you most looking forward to next season? Let's already start looking to next season. What gets you most excited about the upcoming season? And there's a lot. I know if I'm a Sabres fan, the thing that really caught my eye, and I'm calling it now, and let's just get right into it. Yeah, it was just awesome. It was really fun covering this team. I will say it right now. It might be a hot take. So what was it? It's 2026. So the 2030 Olympics. You're here to hear first. Zach Benson, I think he'll be on Team Canada. It'll be 2030, right? Yeah, 2026. Yeah, it'll be 2030. Yeah, the 2030 Winter Olympics. Zach Benson will be on Team Canada. Man, this guy was so fun to watch. A player that I said it, and then I said it, and then I started seeing it everywhere. But he's the next coming of Brad Marchand. Like, he really is. He's just a in your face kind of player. Very annoying to play against. He's got some offensive upside, and he's a smaller player as well. But he's just got that rat in him. You can already tell. Drafted 13th overall in 2023. He had 43 points this year in 65 games played, but man, was this guy noticeable. In 13 games played in the playoffs this year, he had 9 points, so pretty solid for his first time, in the playoffs. Those are great numbers. He outperformed the likes of pretty well everyone on his team, if I'm not mistaken. So Zach Benson was 4th in team scoring for the Sabres in the playoffs this year. He was behind Josh Doan, who had 10 points, and obviously Rasmus Dahlin and Tage Thompson, they kind of stole the show, but that's what you expect. Those are your superstars. So for Zach Benson to come out there and play as good as he did, oh man, he was just unreal. I will say though, there's the playoff effect. Sometimes you see a player in the playoffs and you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be unreal. This is what he's doing in the playoffs right now. What can he do next year in the regular season? And then you watch that player and you're like, whoa, like what happened? Like, he was all over it in the playoffs last year. It's kind of like a sophomore slump. It's weird. Some players struggle with it. They have they come out, they have unreal postseason, and then they follow it up with just a pretty mediocre regular season. I'm looking at, from an Oilers perspective, and even just from a Kings perspective, just because the Oilers have played them. Adrian Kempe, he's pumped out like, man, this guy is a sniper. Every time the Oilers played the Kings the last few years, he was a point per game player and just leading the series almost in goals. Well, for sure for the Kings, but he was just unreal. And then I'm just like, man, how is this guy not 100 to 90 point player? And then he follows it up with 60 to 70 points, and you're just like, where did that go? And then for the Oilers, I mean, Matthias Janmark, he shows up in the playoffs, and then the regular season comes around, and you're like, what the heck? Same with Connor Brown, just to name a few. So there is a worry with Zach Benson, but I'm not worried. I don't think you should be either. He's a top-end talent, and he's got that skill. It was on full display. It was just so impressive to watch at his age. And not only was he good offensively, but he was just all around you. Like, Lane Hudson was trying to lose him. Nope, you're not losing me, says Zach Benson. He was just all over everyone. His forecheck was extremely impressive. And so that's one bright spot, right? You've got Josh Doan, who's really coming. Like, what a great trade that was. He's an unreal player. Jack Quinn, I thought in the last 2 games, once he finally got on the score sheet, got a goal, he was a lot more notable, that's for sure. But what I'm getting at is just young. The thing I'm talking about and why the future is so bright is you look at the players on him. I haven't really touched on the Tage Thompsons or the Alex Tucks or the Rasmus Dahlin. So I'll touch on Dahlin in a second here. But the Jack Quinns, the Ryan McLeods a little bit, Josh Doan, Zach Benson, Josh Norris, Peyton Krebs, kind of, sort of. But man, they're good players, are really just blossoming right now. They're just starting. And if you can capitalize on those young players that are just starting to come into their own while having the superstars hit their prime, and Tage Thompson and Rasmus Dahlin, that's what separates you. That's what makes a really, really good team. And not just for 1 year, but that sets you up for the future so well, which is something that the Oilers have failed to do mightily. Everything was great, right? You got Connor and Leon, they're hitting their prime with role guys like Zach Hyman and Nugent Hopkins well into their prime. But you have the Brobergs and the Dylan Holloways, not nearly. You got 2 prospects that may turn into something. you're looking at the Buffalo Sabres and you know these guys are going to turn into something. And now let's talk about Rasmus Dahlin, who there was a lot of people, and it really became apparent during one of the last Hockey Night in Canada's where they were talking about the Norris Trophy. It was Bieksa, Pronger, Elliot Friedman, the whole crew, and Rasmus Dahlin, his name was mentioned not once but twice. And right then and there, people are like, "Oh, really? Oh, really? Like this Dahlin guy?" I don't know why that caused such a fuss. Like, this guy was a former first overall pick. I remember watching him for Sweden in the World Juniors. Gord Miller and Mike Johnson were just talking about this Dahlin kid. I just remember they were like, oh, this guy is going to be legit. He is going to be a Norris Trophy winner. He is that good. He is a stud. He is unreal. And then just watching him play, man, I was like, holy crap. Like, what if the Oilers could suck this year and potentially get this guy? He is that good. And, it hasn't always been easy, but it hasn't been easy playing for the Sabres. Like, this is his first year playing on a good team. And obviously he was a huge driving force for that, but you can't really fault him the other years when it was just a shit show for that team for so long. But finally, he's playing by far his best year. I don't think it actually was his best year offensively. So he had 74 points this year. So it was a few years ago, 22-23, he had 73. So this was his best season statistically. 19 goals, 55 assists. But what he was able to do in the playoffs, 14 points in 13 games played. And obviously his 5.9 game 6 to force a game 7. This guy is legit. There's a reason this guy is the captain. There's a reason he should be a Norris Trophy finalist. And he's going to win the Norris Trophy soon enough here. If not this year, he should win it soon. Very, very soon. This guy is a legit. I was blown away by the amount of people saying, oh, Bouchard should absolutely win it over him. Just because Bouchard puts up the points doesn't mean he's a better all-around defenseman. This guy is unreal. He is so smart. Great first pass. Everything you want in a defenseman is Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, Sabres fans, just take it from me. I envy your roster. I envy your situation. You've got players that are just only going to get better, that are really just coming into their own right now. I look at the Josh Doans of the world as well. That guy had a sneaky good year. What a great acquisition that was. But he was fun to watch. Jack Quinn in 2020 when they drafted him, I was super honed into that draft because the Oilers got knocked out by the Blackhawks, and then they had a chance to win Alexis Lafreniere, which would have been crazy. But they ended up not, and they drafted, 14th, I believe, I think it was 14th. And so I wanted Jack Quinn to fall because I remember just the numbers he put up in junior that year. Jack Quinn, where are you, Jack? Yeah, okay, this was it. His last year with the 67s, he had in 62 games played, 52 goals. I remember him just scoring. He was a scoring machine. I'm like, this guy is going to be legit. And this was a career year for him, 51 points. But for Zach Benson, for Jack Quinn, and for Josh Doan, I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities to see them all being 70-point players one day. I honestly could see all three of those players being 60 to 70-point players in the NHL. And then you have the likes of, Josh Norris, who I think he could be a 60-point player consistently. We know what Tage Thompson can do. We know what Rasmus Dahlin can do. So the core of this group is only going to continue to get better. And like I said earlier on, that is a luxury that not a lot of teams have, where they have their stars and then they have this young group of players that are just starting to blossom. That doesn't happen often. And right now, they have that, I'd say, better than anyone. Because, they have their stars and the young, depth showing up. Right now, for the Montreal Canadiens, it's really just the young depth that's getting them going. Nick Suzuki, I guess, he's a vet, but they don't have two Nick Suzukis. The Sabres have Rasmus Dahlin and Tuck and Tage Thompson. And then for the Ducks as well, all their older guys are a lot, out of their prime. So it's really just the depth pushing moving the needle for those teams, where the Sabres have stars that are already in their prime, and then players that are just, developing and going to be stars of their own eventually, soon enough, give or take 2 years. So this is a fun team. Sabres fans, I know it sucked, but you got so much to look forward to going forward. And it was awesome to see. That was my first Sabres postseason I ever witnessed with my 2 eyes. That's crazy. Anyway, guys, if you made it this far, it is that time of the video, brought to you by www.timetrackers.ca, where they work around the clock for you. It's Alberta-based company with clocks all over Canada. You want a nice big black clock like that, go check them out. www.timetrackers.ca. Without further ado, the most liked comment in my previous video was, okay, shout out to @Stevens Chembry 1288. Well said. As an Oilers fan for decades, it is disgusting how this management treats people at times. There needs to be a massive change in culture for management. That got 10 likes. I could not agree with you more, buddy. Thank you for the comment. Really, really appreciate it. Guys, if you made it this far, if you like this type of content, leave a like, subscribe, and the subs have been coming in, so I really, really appreciate that, guys. But I will be seeing you in the next video. Thanks for all the continued support. Don't be average when you can be above average. Peace.